I'm Tim, guitar player, teacher. As I was editing the next video, I realized I was using some terms that had not been explained yet. The names of the notes or degrees of a scale. So, in this hopefully quick video, I'm going to go through them as well as give a quick introduction to the solfege names of both the diatonic and chromatic scale tones for both major and minor keys. Along with the numbers that label the positions of each of the notes of a scale, there are other names for them. These are typically used to help with ear training and sight singing and are called the solfege symbols. For the major scale, they are do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, and do. They provide us with a set of consistent syllables to use for each of the notes of a major scale, and after time is spent learning to sing the major scale with them, they help a great deal in learning to sight sing melodies accurately, that is, without the need for an instrument for reference. For the minor scales, or any chromatic tones, the syllable is altered to reflect the change in scale degree. For the natural minor, we lowered the third, the sixth, and the seventh notes. This changes the solfege symbols to do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, te, and do. For the harmonic minor, the seventh note is raised back to a major seventh, so the resulting solfege symbols would be do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, and do. And for the melodic minor scale, the sixth scale degree is raised back to a major sixth. The resulting solfege symbols would be do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, and do. There is an important distinction that needs to be made though. There are two different ways that solfege is taught: moveable do and fixed do. Moveable do is a system where the scale always starts on do and the rest of the solfege symbols are adjusted as needed to reflect any chromatic changes within the scale. This helps a great deal in training our ears to recognize diatonic intervals and therefore any chromatic alterations found within a melody. It also, in my opinion, makes changing the key of a song much easier because the solfege symbols would not be altered, only the pitches at which they would be sung. This is the more common way to use solfege in America, as well as other English and German-speaking countries, and will be the way that I use it throughout this series. Fixed do is a system in which C is always do, regardless of its position within the key. So the solfege symbols are attached to the notes of a C major scale permanently. The G major scale, for example, would then start on so, not do. The benefit is that it teaches that do and the other solfege symbols are at a set pitch and can help with the development of better note recognition. This is commonly used in Italic and Slavic-speaking nations throughout the world, as well as others. So here is a chart showing the most common solfege symbols for the diatonic and chromatic scale degrees using the moveable do system. Anytime I mention solfege, it is these symbols that I will be referring to. As well as the numbers indicating a note's position within the scale and the solfege symbols, there are also names for each of the notes of a scale. These names reflect the melodic and harmonic function of each note within the key. The first note of the scale is called the tonic. It is the note upon which the scale is built and serves as its tonal center. A perfect fifth above the tonic is called the dominant. As its name implies, it is rather important. Halfway between the tonic and the dominant is the third note of this scale, called the mediant. Following that same principle but going down in pitch, the note that is a perfect fifth below the tonic is the fourth note of the scale. It is called the subdominant. The prefix sub means below. Halfway between the tonic and the subdominant is the sixth note of the scale. It is not surprisingly called the submediant. The two notes that are left are the second note and the seventh note. The second note is called the supertonic. The prefix super means above, so it is the note found directly above the tonic. The seventh note is called the leading tone. Being a half step away from do, its role is almost universally to lead us back to the tonic. When looking at the minor scales, the names of the notes do not change, even though the intervals in solfege do, with two exceptions. In the natural minor scale, the seventh scale degree is lowered to a minor seventh. It is therefore a whole step below the tonic instead of a half step. Because of this, it is no longer a leading tone. This note is called the subtonic. When the subtonic is raised to the major seventh for the harmonic and melodic minor scales, it becomes the leading tone once again. Also, in the melodic minor scale, the sixth scale degree is raised to become a major sixth. Since the minor sixth found in the natural and harmonic minor is called the submediant, this is called the raised submediant. These scale degree names as well as the solfege symbols are used consistently in the study of music theory. Much like the labeling of intervals, they provide a way to discuss varying musical principles without having to choose a specific key and will be used quite often throughout the rest of this series. It is well worth the time to become very familiar with them. In the next video, we'll get back on track with a look at harmonic function and cadences. Until then, thanks for watching. I hope this video was helpful in some way. Check the description for a link to my website for information on private lessons as well as some PDFs related to this and all the other videos in this series, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.